Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. It's Monday, which means another news episode.
Dun, 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 dun.
Always plenty to talk about in the world of VR, but I will start it off with a little begging, to say the least. Longtime listeners will remember last year we were nominated for the annual podcast awards in the leisure category.
Mm-hmm.
We made it through the first round to the final slate.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we didn't win the award, but it was cool to even be nominated and make it to the final slate. And this year again, we are nominated once again with the open voting, I guess you could say, period, going for the next, I think it goes until August.
The People's Choice.
Yes, the People's Choice Awards. So it's going on now. If you go and visit the link in our show notes, you'll see a link that says Podcast Awards. You click that link. It makes you make an account to vote, which makes sense. And they have a bunch of different categories to choose, but the categories that we're nominated for is the Adam Curry People's Choice Award, and most importantly, the best podcast in the leisure category.
Correct.
So make sure to go vote for us in those two categories. This is the period where listeners and fans, they vote in order to make it to the final slate. Like I said, it runs through, I think, July and August. And then after that, the podcast with the most votes, they make it to a final slate. I think there's like 12 of them that make it through. And then from there, it's a mix of their judges. And they also contact other people that did vote in that first period, a random amount. And they say they pick it by random.
Well, you opt in. You have to opt into it.
Yes.
So when you sign up and do your account, there'll be a little box at the bottom that says, "Do you wish to be contacted to be part of the
next round of
judging?"
voting?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if you don't want to, you don't have to. But it's kind of cool because did Shoes get picked last year?
I feel like I remember him, and I think he told us all right, I voted for you in the final.
Yeah.
So it's like they definitely do pick.
And it's cool because your vote actually counts. So it's, it's not one of those dealies where it's decided by more of a corporate thing.
No, and again, they do have their own judges and stuff, but at least there is some sort of listener voting in that final section. So there's going to be 2 rounds of begging. This is the first round where, this is to get us to the final slate. And then we'll ask you again that if you're one of the people that opted in, to make sure to check your email, when that time comes, if we make it to the final slate.
We'll work for vote.
Yeah. We'll hold up a sign next week talking about it, and I'll push it, just like the Quest 2 giveaway that we have going on, which I'll mention in just a few as well. I'll bring this up a couple times, but it would mean a lot. So definitely go vote for us there. But yeah, last week we announced a giveaway for a Quest 2 that was kindly donated by Shell Games.
Awesome studio.
Yeah. And dude, the amount of entries has been so much more than I thought it would be in the first week. We only did 1 post about it, and so far that's all that's been necessary. We're up to like 3K entries. It's pretty nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I thought we were going to get, maybe like 200 in the first week, and then I just kept seeing that number go up, go up, go up, go up. So I'm curious where it's going to be at, because we're running it through July. But if you haven't yet, that link will also be in our show notes. So you can click that link, boom, go enter. We have a bunch of ways to gain entries. So,
I predict you're going to have a 1 in 10,000 chance.
That's what you think it's going to hit by the end of July, 10K? I think that's a reasonable guess. That would be cool. Like I said,
Just
that would
basing it off of a bunch of different...
the rate of growth of it,
Well, from all the platforms that it's getting picked up on, at least. So I take all the... But it's still, what the hell? What does it cost you?
Yeah. No,
I've entered them. I just can't enter this one. But
no, but in the past...
like a year ago when like everybody was seemingly giving away Quest 2s, I was like, holy shit, Or anytime I see the haptic vests, I always enter. Quintar,
they did a Quest Pro one.
Yeah, dude, I don't care. It's like somebody's got to win, right?
Yeah, I'd have no shame in winning a Quest Pro. I'd feel very good about it. As long as it's not our own giveaway, right?
We'll have to win me an Apple,
Right? Well, on that, I don't know how many giveaways there'll be on that, because there was a report that came out that apparently Apple's cutting their production forecast to just 150K units in the first year due to difficulty manufacturing it, getting defect-free displays, and it's apparently a who would have thought a $3,500 headset with cutting edge technology might be tough to mass produce.
Yeah, you know, I would have thought most of this would have been worked out before, showing a proper demo of it. So, I mean, how bad are your manufacturers that they fuck up half your lenses? And I mean, I don't understand.
I don't know if it was half the lenses, but
Well,
it's
you get what
yeah,
I'm saying?
I know,
It's like,
I know it,
why you're Apple, you should be able to find a good quality controlled. So it's weird. It just feels weird to hear. And
Yeah.
I go, I don't know if I really believe that.
and the report came from the Financial Times, which, they're a little bit more reputable than other news sources that I won't continuously shit on all the time. But
I get it.
our listeners will know who I'm alluding to. But there's a chance the report's not true, but
It seems more realistic. But it's funny because remember when you were like, well, they said they're gonna sell one headset per store per day.
Mm-hmm. I think that was to hit their initial outrageous target,
and
now that's impossible.
Numbers wise, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what dawned in my head too? People do the smash and grabs at the Apple stores and stuff. They're telling you they've got $3,500 headsets in the store. So I mean, remember the article I posted this week that was saying like they're probably gonna have to do appointment onlys to buy.
Yep, I saw that article too.
Thing coming out with an armed guard, and then you're gonna have to walk from that store to your car, where people knew you just bought a $3,500. That's not relatively big. I was driving to work thinking of that, and I'm like, oh no, this is not a good thing.
Yeah, and we don't
This
have.
is not a good thing at all.
And this was something we talked about a long time ago. We don't have headset insurance on our headset on our Quest 2, but it's also a $300 to $500 headset. A $3,500 headset. You probably need an equivalent like you have with phone insurance and all that. There's no way you're going in there.
So tell us again what happened.
Yeah.
So I bought it and I was walking out of the store, and now it's gone. Did you turn it on? Like, no. I left the store, and now it's gone.
Somebody took it from me.
Someone took it. So no, that's actually, the insurance is something we had discussed. Like, it'd be awesome though, and I'd be down for it. And some people might be bored by it, but someone in that insurance industry who can actually put their words on like what's this really going to cost you for insurance? Like realistically.
Yeah, 100 a month, 75 a month, 50 a month. What's it going to be?
I'm not liking the idea of going to stores and walking out with. It's just it's not. It's going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, you'd rather buy it online and have it shipped.
100% with a no leaving it on my doorstep.
Yeah,
little photo sent to your phone while you're. Oh, that's great. No, if you're spending that kind of money, it should be delivered to you with the expectation that it goes from human hand to human hand.
Mm-hmm. Well, Apple, the one thing that I think that they're going to try to do by making it appointment only and stuff is, all right, if they don't have the numbers in production to be able to like mass sell it and hit insane target numbers, let's make an aura of exclusivity. And like it's a high class exclusive thing, like maybe you can get one, maybe you can't. Book an appointment, I think that's, it's like just a shift in marketing plan as well.
Just get it shipped.
Yeah. But anywho, on kind of cool news, Sony, a while ago, they announced that they're working on what they call Mocapi trackers, which are standalone trackers for full body tracking. And it's compatible with the Quest 2, as well as iPhones and Android phones. It connects to them via Bluetooth, but it's compatible with the Quest with VR chat. So I don't think it's going to be to the same level of extremely expensive, units that are connected to a high-end PC.
Your toes and your avatar's toes move.
Yeah, but to have an option for no PC required, standalone, compatible with the Quest for, you know how it goes with VR chat. There's people that are nuts with that game. And these trackers are $450, which again might sound expensive, but comparatively speaking to the requirements of owning a high-end PC and the cost of other trackers, it's really not that bad.
No, and I mean, if VR chat's your thing, and for some people it is, that's what they do. There is no outside of that. It's work and eat, sleep, and VR chat. Then it's for me, it's not I don't need it.
Yeah. There's not really any games that we play that have the full body tracking.
No.
Anyway, like there's not the need for it. But like you just said, for the people that are fanatics for it, absolutely. And what's interesting is it's compatible with the Quest. It's made by Sony, but it's not compatible with the PlayStation VR 2 yet. They haven't said that it'll never
come out with their better version. That's what they're gonna do.
But it's interesting to see them release a product that brings full body tracking compatible with a competitor's device, but not their own.
Well, you see their name in some of the. You even see it on Microsoft too, like on Xbox. It's a Sony game, but there it is.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee you it's still available on PlayStation too. Imagine if they released. Imagine if Sony released a game that was only available on Microsoft, but not the Sony platform.
Dude,
that'd be weird.
That'd be baller.
That's kind of how I feel with this. I'm like, well, you would have thought at some point they were like, hey, we're releasing a VR headset too. Let's make sure that we have compatibility with all of our products. But I also don't have a PlayStation VR 2, so I'm not going to cry about it.
Put it on your feet for Gran Turismo for gas and brake.
Oh, that might be cool, actually.
There's some cool, applications you could use it for.
Yeah, as long as it's supported inside the game, too. In the articles that I read about this, it specifically said it's compatible with the Quest and VR chat. Like, it didn't sound like it's compatible with Quest apps in general.
Probably programmed for, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that crowd is. Imagine if they killed VR chat. There'd be a revolution.
Yeah, I think VR chat of all the world building apps is definitely the most popular and probably the most dedicated fan base. Again, it's not something we dive into, but
people getting married in there and shit.
There was a documentary on HBO about it. Like VR
don't
chat,
even bring it.
VR chat
is gross.
VR chat is big.
Boy, it's your boy.
Oh, you love. Yeah, what was it called? Yeah, it was your boy, right?
Your boy.
I remember how much that one bothered
BOI. The fuck out.
And then in other news non-related to the Quest, Samsung, what feels like maybe a year ago, but exact timeline might be a little fuzzy. But they announced that they were getting back into the VR market. And reportedly, they've delayed their headset and are redesigning it in response to the Apple Vision Pro, which I could see. That means that they're trying to go
spatial computing more than VR.
Well, maybe more high end. Maybe this is purely speculative. Maybe before they were looking at more of like a Quest 2 type competitor or a Quest 3 type competitor, but now they're just looking to make a high end device, 1K plus or something like that.
I think
in terms of
I think that's
cost.
Where these companies are getting it wrong. That
well, which headset?
The consumer doesn't want the $5,000 headset. I'm sure don't get it wrong. There are people who would love one. I would love one. Yes, it's the best in the world, but the technology is going to get there no matter what. And you can still keep it affordable. So you're not going to have the best technology, but you'll have affordability. I think we live in a world where people would prefer affordability over high end.
I agree with that.
So it's like the amount of research and design they're going to pump into something they're never going to recoup on. That's just ridiculous.
Well, what I was going to say is which headset has sold 20 million units? That's probably the one I would want to build a competitor for. And I know,
right, going to compete for 100,000.
Yeah, and I know Pico sales numbers haven't been the craziest according to reports, but Samsung is also a much more established name, and they'd be able to sell in the U.S. without issues.
I was going to say, in fairness to Pico,
they don't have that North American market.
Yeah, we have no numbers, so it's who knows and there would be people who would buy it. And I'm sure there'd be Quest owners who would buy it. So, it sucks.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but really good things about the Pico 4. The only negatives I've heard is related to store content.
Yeah.
Not so much the actual headset itself.
Mighty Coconut.
Yep, now they're getting their DLCs on there.
DLCs
I think it's coming this summer. I forget the exact date. I don't know if they gave one.
So that'll at least keep you occupied a little while. But
well, dude, Mighty Coconut next month is going to make so much money on selling DLCs when them and Mother Gunship Forge, another fantastic games, are the games on the Quest Plus subscription for that month, because they already said that they're the next ones. Dude, how do you play we talked about this a bit last week. How do you play Walkabout Mini Golf and just stick with the base game. Not that there's anything wrong with the base game.
Well, no,
I love them
because you'll
all.
see the amount of DLC that's there, and
They
then
stick it
you'll
in your face. You're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, that sounds awesome."
make it listen $5.
And now there's packs, so you don't even have to buy them all individually. You can bundle that. You know, there's bundles of them, dude. They're gonna
Yeah,
kill
that's
it
a
with
that's
that.
a great. They didn't have to go on the Quest Plus there, but no, people are gonna who've never owned it. They're gonna have so much friggin' fun.
No, I agree, and that's a game that's worth it full price. So to be able to get it for free with that subscription, well, not for free,
subscription
but
price,
yeah,
yes,
But as part of the game's offer.
$14 or whatever.
The thing is, I wonder how many people that subscribe to Quest Plus already own Walkabout Mini Golf, only because of all of the games on the store.
Almost all of them.
That's got to be even more popular than Pistol Whip and Pixel Ripped, which are two very popular games, especially Pistol Whip. You know, that's one of those. It's on everybody's like top games, but Walkabout Mini Golf is kind of on a different level of popularity than almost any game on the store. So, I feel like that's already on everybody's library. But for anybody just getting a headset, ooh, they're gonna have a blast with that one on the subscription. Kind of in other news too, this was really cool to see. A couple of years ago, there was a partnership between Quest and Zoom announced, and 2 years later, finally, it's kind of manifesting into something cool. That users can go into Horizon Workrooms and join a Zoom meeting from Horizon Workrooms, you know, as long as the host of the meeting that you're joining is on a Zoom Pro plan, like a paid one. But only the host has to have the paid account. Then the guests can join as free users, no problem.
I wonder what the numbers are of people that are going to do that.
Yeah, I kind of just want to test it out just to see how it is. I guess technically it's not your headset joining the meeting, it's the workroom joining the meeting. So I think it's not going to display just your avatar. I think, you know, again, I need to go and test it out. It sounds like it's going to display the whole room as your, you know, like the guest video.
I have no idea.
Which then would, if that's the case, that's cool because you could have like 3 people join the workroom. Hey, what's up? You know, everybody working in VR joining a Zoom meeting. That's kind of cool. I always mean to go and check out.
We'd have to try it because I got a lot of. I want to know how the audio quality will be.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about for video for real?
Yeah, how's the quality on the other end? Any latency? You know, I have so many questions with it, but it was kind of cool to see it.
Yeah,
it even come out. But if you want, you know, let's before we blow through all the news because it's not like the most packed week of news this week. There's still some more things to talk about, but let's take the moment. Let's give a shout out to our Patreon peeps, and then let's take a quick ad break. That way, you know, we don't forget. Sometimes we get a little far in, and then I go, oops, you know, forgot to slip that in. So, you know, every week we like to give a shout out to the Patreon peeps on the on-air shout out tier, or more on the video love tier as well. And you can go join our Patreon by, again, visiting the link in our show notes, the episode description. You'll see, you know, Patreon, you click there. We have a couple different tiers with cool benefits. You know, all of them come with access to an exclusive channel and role in our Discord server, but anybody can also join our Discord server for free. It's just like a bonus little chat room inside the Discord server. So all the tiers come with that. Then we have, like you're about to hear, the on-air shout out. We have another tier with like your name going across the bottom on a ticker. So it's cool stuff. And then I'll throw in some bonus stuff for the Patreons in the Patreon chat too. Like sometimes if we have an interview coming up and we know enough in advance, I'll throw a link in a Google Forms link to submit questions to ask and that kind of stuff. So like always, you know, huge shout out to our Patreon supporters, Shoes, Crispy, Amelia, Earth Witness, and Jake. So thank you all. And on top of that, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, like us on Instagram, on Threads. We're on Threads now, the new social media Twitter competitor that Meta dropped. That was an interesting to see. It's blown up. It's at like last I checked, it was like 70 million users, but that's obviously grown because that was like a couple days ago too. We both have accounts there.
Oh yeah.
So it's cool. You're at like on your personal one, what, like 50?
55, 56 people.
Your personal one is beating my personal one by by like 10, I think. But the Rough Talk is at like almost 400. So it's cool. We're getting there, you know, we're growing up. So you can also like us on Threads, further fueling the Elon Musk versus Zuckerberg fight. And then we'll be back with you in just a moment with a word from our sponsors.
This episode of Rough Talk VR is sponsored by BetterHelp. Virtual reality gaming is amazing, but let's not forget to take care of our mental health in the real world too. BetterHelp is the world's largest online counseling platform, offering professional, affordable, and convenient therapy. Their licensed therapists specialize in everything from depression and anxiety to relationship issues and stress management. So, if you've been struggling to balance your love for MetaQuest VR gaming with life's challenges, BetterHelp is here to support you. They'll match you with the perfect counselor, tailored to your specific needs, and with the convenience of video, phone, or even live chat sessions, you can get the help you need from the comfort of your own home. As a Rough Talk VR listener, you get a special offer of 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. Just visit betterhelp.com/roughtalkvr. That's betterhelp.com/roughtalkvr and start taking charge of your mental health today.
This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in MetaQuest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code RoughTalkVR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. And we're back. So it was cool to see a game that we loved when we reviewed it, Zero Caliber. Mm-hmm. That's a game that we loved it, like I said, when we reviewed it, but since then it's continuously got more and more updates. And they added an update adding crossplay PvP. So they added a PvP mode previously, but now it's crossplay with the other headsets. So that's always good, you know, increase the amount of players online in the game at once versus being restricted, especially if, example, the PC audience, it wasn't huge or whatever. Now they can game against Quest people. And then it also adds modding. So that's going to be huge. It's coming this month.
Big game changer, yeah.
Yeah. And how they integrate the mods, I'm not exactly sure. Example, game like Contractors kind of sets the gold standard where you just have the in-game menu and you just download right from there. You don't need to like go into the files of your headset and copy and paste anything.
I would anticipate it'll be integrated. Otherwise, it'll be a waste to do.
Yeah, I kind of feel like since Contractors did it, again, it's the gold standard. It's like, how are you going to integrate mods and not do it like that at this point, you know?
Yeah, and their mods are legit.
Mm-hmm.
They got so many good ones. But that's the thing there's people who are good at modding games who aren't necessarily playing it as much as everyone else, but they just love to mod shit. So,
well, you look at a game like Contractors or a game like Blade and Sorcery, it's like once you turn it over to the community, that game stays alive forever. People make mods for Half-Life Alyx, one of the most popular PC VR games, and there's people that have still playing it to this day, and they bought it at release because there's so many mods for it. So depending on how crazy the community goes, you know, how much is allowed to be changed, you know, how exactly it all works, this could be huge for Zero Caliber. Like you said, the crossplay PvP is cool, but the mods, that's the real game changer.
Mm-hmm.
So cool stuff from Zero Caliber. You know, the developers, they put out Gambit, what was that, a couple months ago. Wasn't the most well received at release due to some bugs and stuff like that, but it's cool to see them going, all right, we're not abandoning our previous game at all either. And speaking of Contractors too, I don't know if we ever brought this up on the podcast. This is kind of old news, but just speaking of them anyway, they're working on a battle royale game, and they put out the info of like the scale of the map, and it was huge.
I wonder how that compares to other game maps, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Is it going to be one continuous flow of like open world map?
What
or
I
is
was
it going to be?
what I was thinking was, the map's huge, but you're a million feet tall. You take a step, it's
yeah,
1,000 feet or something. So I mean, not enough info out to draw a conclusion. Besides that, man, I'm hyped for their game, and just like the developers of Zero Caliber, they're saying, they're not going to abandon the original contractors just because they have a new game coming out. But it's like, do you even need to add anything more to the original contractors with the factor of what we talked about before, the mods? It's kind of like that game. As long as you keep bugs out,
Yeah, just every time there's a
headset update.
upgrade, you fix whatever needs to be fixed and just let the game be the game. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. So
No, I can't even think of what else you could add to the base contractors game. And it's cool that they've went the route of like the battle royale is going to be its own game. Don't even try to include it in. I think that that's the smart way to go, because I think it's going to be way too big of a game to do inside of contractors as well. Battle royales are usually pretty extensive.
you'd be giving it away if you just included it into. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what it's going to be though.
Yeah,
I'm always down.
dude, new games, but no shortage of new games this year. So, kind of what we talked about last week. They got to be smart with the timing of the release of it, especially with new headset coming out. Yeah. Too easy for releases
You can get
to
swallowed.
Dude, this year is brutal. I mean, there's a game that came out the end of June that looks pretty freaking cool. It's called Mindset. It's like a Quest 2 exclusive hand tracking game where you the description's funny. It says solve puzzles on a cube. You go, well,
That is it. That is the game.
well, then you watch the trailer and it's like that's the game. But it seems like that there's a story mode with voice narration. But the concept seems to be based off of the trailer. Like you put gears on the cube in appropriate spots to get them all to touch, and then you want to get the gear spinning by getting them all, in the appropriate spot. And there's like slides that you can move that kind of let you place the gear in different spots. So you got to find what the correct one is. I don't know. It looked like it had potential. I have a bit of a soft spot for well executed hand tracking games as well, as our listeners will know. Definitely got a soft spot for puzzle games and single player story games. So the game's $9.99. It's kind of easy to justify. I might have to check this one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like it might get a little repetitive.
Well, that's my fear.
But would I play it? Yes. I mean, if you're into puzzle games, it's intriguing. It's not the first time I've seen a puzzle game using the gears as this is how you have to solve it. This is the first time I've seen it where you're in a 3D environment and you can rotate the
it's all on
cube.
Just one cube.
So I would expect there to be some severe challenges sometimes because it's probably going to have to go all the way around it. Not just, I'm sure in the early levels, you'll just do like the face, to get the concept down.
Yeah, one side. And then by the end, you're doing, all six sides.
But my only fear is, and this is without playing it, is it might feel a little repetitive.
That's definitely my concern with it too, because I was like,
I think it's got good ratings too. So who knows?
I almost feel like
maybe we do have to try it.
It's got like I think it was like a 4.5 or something like that. So I don't know. I had the same fear. I'm like, how much variety can you do by just a cube? I almost feel like you're limiting yourself in the gameplay by creating that element that they're all going to be just on this cube, but
they give you unique environments and stuff, which is cool. But again, to me, it's like if I have to solve the puzzle on the cube, that's my main environment.
Yeah, I like games like this. Example, like Cubism. It's a great mixed reality game as well. And that one uses hand tracking as well. Puzzling places, it's like these games that you don't. I almost think that this game should have passed through, especially with the Quest 3 coming. So I agree. I don't know how important the
scenery is.
No, you could give me a white room or color pass through when the Quest 3 drops. Like I'm happy. But in terms of the concern of it being repetitive, man, I've been proven wrong so many times. Like you said, it's got a really good rating.
Yeah, so, it's like I don't think people aren't shy with like shitting on something. So no, when it came out, I like saw the trailer for it.
Yeah, I went to go show it to you, and you're like, "Oh, I already saw this."
Yeah, I'm like, man, I almost bought that. Mm-hmm. But I got scared that maybe it was just going to be too repetitive, and I didn't want to. It's not even the money. It's just I didn't want to spend an hour being like, oh man, I don't want to
Doing the
finish
same
it.
thing.
And I know it's got, like a story mode per se. So what am I going to abandon the story after an hour? Sometimes I can get attached to the story of a game, and I don't really want to finish the game, but I want to know the damn story. So
That happens to me all the time. That's why I said I'm a sucker for a good story-based game. I'm a sucker
who
for a good
knows?
puzzle game. I'm a sucker for well-executed hand tracking too. It's like there's games that definitely have missed the mark with hand tracking, but when it's done correct, it's so good. So let's see. This could have potential. I'm down for it. Solve some puzzles with your hands.
bust out the white gloves for the good hand tracking.
Yep, that's a tip that we got way back in the day because, proper lighting and all that stuff is essential for hand tracking. Apparently wearing white gloves makes it easier for the headset to pick it up.
Correct.
Now, I don't have a pair of white gloves, but conceptually I understand what's going on.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
Yeah. Oh man, I might have to check that one out. I'm not saying that we're going to review it anytime soon. Our backlog only grows instead of gets smaller, unfortunately. But I'm intrigued. And then in other news, a studio that we love. Well, I can't speak on all of their games, but I can at least say that I loved one of their games, Path of the Warrior. So the developers of that, Twisted Pixel Studios. They're owned by Meta, and Path of the Warrior is a game that I just wish that they would do a sequel of.
Yeah,
so
I wanted
bad.
so much more of it because remember we kind of blazed through it too.
It's not the longest game, but it came out in 2019 or
Like,
something
oh,
like
man,
that.
I want more of this.
Oh,
This
it was so
fun.
good.
Very retro.
That was their last game they made too.
Dude, the fighting was hysterical.
The intro was hysterical. The aesthetic was hysterical.
Path of the Warrior. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, what was it? Not a rip off of, but what was the Double Dragon or something like that? Was
Yeah,
the old
kinda
school
like
game
that,
that it was very similar to? Dude, remember you could press the button and your guy would do the spinning kick?
Yep.
And he has the most typical 1980s looking action hero appearance.
They did it perfect, dude.
Oh my goodness.
They really nailed it.
Again, even the theme song. So I hope that they make a sequel of it one day. And it came out that they're working on a unannounced VR game that's going to be made apparently in Unreal Engine.
Which excites me. I see that Unreal logo on a game. I'm like, all right, expectations just went up.
I kind of need to dive back into Path of Warrior for just a second to go through the load-in to see if that was made with Unreal as well. I don't recall off the top of my head.
I can't remember.
But damn, oh man, there's this little part of me that's hoping it's a sequel. I kind of doubt it. I have a feeling they're gonna go a whole new.
Yeah, I think they're going a new route.
But don't
Been there, done that. They accomplished what they accomplished. So
don't think I didn't have the same opinions as you. That the game was so fun, but yeah, we blazed through it. Easily could have done triple the amount of content, without getting bored.
Definitely.
And it's funny, the game was a little. We use the word repetitive fears for, the last game we talked about, the hand tracking one. And yeah, one could argue that this game might be a little repetitive. You go into an area, you clear a stage, you go to the next area, you beat up the enemies. You go to the next area, you beat up the enemies. Use the environmentals and stuff like that. But because it was co-op, I didn't care.
Oh, no, dude.
I could have done that all day.
I laughed my ass off playing that game.
Well, us too. We're in character, singing the song.
Yeah.
Oh, too much fun. And yeah, the environmentals in it, like the environmental damage you could do, too much fun. So really curious to see what comes from the Meta-owned Twisted Pixel Studios, but I know I'm going to be disappointed.
Were you going to say Pixel Ripped?
No. There's too many similar sounding things the last couple of weeks with Pixel Rip, Pistol
Whip,
and now Twisted Pixel Studios. It's scrambled eggs with that stuff, but definitely curious to see what it is. Like I said, I think I'm going to be disappointed when it is inevitably not Path of the Warrior 2, but don't think I'm not holding on a little bit of hope. And then kind of lastly, John Carmack, one of the OGs, not only in the video game world, but also specifically VR, very respected name. He recently left Meta. He reviewed and tried Big Screen Beyond, which is a headset that we have talked about whenever we get the chance, just because we're curious about it. It's so freaking cool looking. It's it's lighter than an
Tiny.
iPhone, you know? We don't have PC.
Very tiny.
Yeah. It's cool that they're really like, they took the challenge of making a light headset and they just maxed it out. You know, they were like, all right, let's get it as absolutely light as possible. John Carmack said it felt like a futuristic like prop in a movie, you know? But he said overall really good things. You know, I think the biggest criticism I saw him say was that, you know, it doesn't have built-in audio. So he goes, oh, that you had to needing to use headphones for it.
Well, if it's got Bluetooth for earbuds and shit, then I could care less.
Yeah, because you'll just use your wireless
Yeah.
earbuds. Yeah, his thing was like, well, using the wired headphones, you know, it took away from like the lightness aspect of it.
Putting on headphones like ours that are bigger than the whole unit.
Dude, depending on the headphones you have, it could be a good percentage of the equivalent weight of the
But
total
if you're
headset.
watching something really good and it's got really good audio, then having a good quality set of headphones is probably the way to go.
Well, and you look at what the use cases of this are, and it seems like it's made by the owners of the big screen media platform. You think that, you know, watching media is going to be high on their list of use cases of it. And you're right. Yeah. In those situations, you want headphones anyway for the most crisp audio. I do like having our own built-in headset audio on the Quest too. It's convenient. You know, we have the Kiwi earmuffs that attach to the Elite strap of their version of the Elite strap. And I use them a bit, you know, especially if we're playing like a game like Ghost of Tabor, but I don't always use them. Like when we played Quantar last night, I use just my built-in audio.
Depends on. I use headphones depending on the game. If I'm
Yeah.
going to play Pop 1, I'm using headphones.
Ghost of Tabor,
Ghost of Tabor, I'm using anything that footsteps can get you killed
breachers.
or exactly. It's like you have an advantage over the other player who does not. Guaranteed. Just like in same thing with PC. When you put a good quality pair of headphones on, you're going to crush the comp. I mean, granted, yes, you can buy and I had it for my computer, the 5 speakers. But no, headphones are the way to go.
Yeah.
But I get the thing. You get this tiny thing on your face, and then you got to put headphones on. It's like, but did he say how the quality of sound was with the headphones?
Well, I think that would be depending on your own headphones, you know.
Right. So,
but overall, that was his only. For that to
but
be
you
the
think
only.
he owns a shitty, cheap pair of headphones? I don't think so.
I doubt it. But for that to be the only really criticism that stuck out, that's not bad.
Had
at
nothing
all.
to do with the headset.
No, well, a little bit, you know, just the fact it didn't have built-in audio. And then he reinforced. He goes, "I know it was a little contentious, but I think it was the correct decision to go with the Quest 2. But I also think for a standalone headset, you need built-in audio. Big Screen Beyond isn't a standalone headset. PC VR headset. So apples to oranges, you know. But always cool. I've yet to hear really a bad thing about it.
But they're doing their own. They're in their own lane.
Yeah, doesn't look like they're trying to be.
They're doing their own thing.
Doesn't look like they're being unreasonable with sales expectations or anything like that. We don't hear rumors of cut production, anything like that. And something that kind of makes Big Screen Beyond unique is that you scan your face with the iPhone, so that they custom build it to like be perfect for your face. And Carmack was like, because of that, there's no light leak at all. He's like, you don't get any.
Well, there shouldn't be.
Yeah, but
unless
that's
your
cool.
face changes, so don't go get any elective surgeries on your face.
Yeah, any boxing matches or anything like that, you got a swollen face, it doesn't fit anymore.
All wicked tight.
Yeah.
What the hell's going
What the
on?
hell, you know? I'm puffy. You have an allergic reaction. Can't wear your headset, you know? But no, cool to hear, you know, good praise from it. And I think that's about it for news this week. We talked about the podcast awards. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, definitely go vote for us there. I referenced we got a Quest 2 giveaway. You know, like you said, probably going to have 10K entries by the end of it, but why not be one of them? That's going on all through July. You can find both of those links in our show notes. Something I'm going to talk about endlessly until February is that in February, we're having our first ever Ruff Talk VR gaming showcase. So a lot of planning going on there. You know, stay tuned for more info on that. We're going to have an application up soon and a webpage up soon. So hyped for that. I think that's about it for like things to plug though. 2024 is looking to be a busy start of the year. It's like every month we have an event going on.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you know, we have our end of the year award show, which I don't really think I had said this previously. I don't think we can do it before the end of 2023. I think we have to do it in January.
In January.
Because this year you already know with, Asgard's Wrath being teased for winter 2023. Same with Assassin's Creed. It's like there's going to be some bangers that come out probably in November, December. Do the award show, December 14th? You might miss out on what could be a Game of the Year candidate depending on what comes out. So definitely got to do it at the start of 2024. So that's January. Then February, we have our award show. I'm sorry, not award show, our gaming showcase. And then typically PAX East is in March. So then we'll have that the next month too.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully maybe even GDC, depending on, sponsors and stuff like that. But just cool to see 2024 is already shaping up to be just a good start of the year.
Well, yeah, it's not like it's not like the work begins in 2024. It's like it began a month ago.
No, so much planning, so much to do.
Especially the
showcase.
The showcase.
Yeah.
The award show is cool because as we go throughout the year, I just make notes of, this one, that one.
Yeah,
this one could be for this category.
But we haven't made our full list yet.
No.
And I
like the way I'm doing it versus, if you waited till the end of the year and I'm like, what exactly did I remember playing?
Especially with how many releases there's been this year.
Yeah,
good luck remembering. Good luck remembering. So, no, good stuff today. We also got on Wednesday, we're dropping a review of Hubris, a game that we were chipping away at. So much fun. I'll save it for the review.
Did we enjoy it or did we not enjoy it?
Yeah, it was.
You will find out.
Graphically, though, to be running on the Quest 2, the game's a cool experience. So stay tuned for Wednesday on that. We got some cool interviews in the works coming up soon, and also big stuff just coming up with Ruff Talk in general, as I teased with those first 3 events, and then some other stuff that we haven't even announced yet. So just
I don't know how we're going to announce that one.
Yeah, we got to talk later today about that. But as you can tell, the agenda's full. Big stuff coming for us. Not full time yet, but hopefully one day you can help us hopefully get there sooner by going and joining the Patreon. Get a little on-air shout-out or just access to the exclusive channel in the Discord, or just feel good in your heart of hearts knowing that you're helping support us. So other than that, stay tuned for Wednesday and enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao, ciao.
Take care.